accumulation here, there, a couple of things, but no Andres Reyes in the lineup tonight, and he's been such a key component to your back four. Nothing against Sean or Hassan, who would be the two center backs tonight, but clearly without Reyes, it provides not just an opportunity, but clearly guys have to step up.
Yeah, I love the mentality that the guys carry and that have carried over the course of the last 2 months. We've had a lot of injuries. We've had a lot of situations that are unique in terms of yellow card accumulation, travel. There's just different components that have been challenges for us that I think feel like there have been more recently than in years past. And so the mentality that the group displays is we're not going to use that as an excuse. We're not going to look at it and say, poor me. Nobody else is going to feel sorry for us. That's for sure. So the opportunity for someone like Hassan to continue to step up, which he has a number of times, I think is an exciting one, and hopefully we can go prove a point tonight with the group we put on the field.
When you look at last question, some lineup components tonight, and maybe throughout the course of the tournament, guys that you have put on the roster for this that may or may not have an opportunity. What player or two could excite you that you think maybe could factor in over the course of the next couple of games?
I think Ronnie Donkor is someone that's trained incredibly well, and he showed something different whenever he played against Atlanta. Then he came on the next week and again had a good, solid performance against Columbus. And he hasn't been featured in the last 3 matches, so he could be available tonight to come on and give us a spark. Peter Stroud again is someone that played consistently over 7-8 matches throughout a run in May and June. But maybe hasn't played as much lately, so he's going to be chomping at the bit to get an opportunity. And I think Matt Nocita. Matt Nocita has to be prepared tonight, given that Andres is out, and we're now down to Hassan and Sean. If something happens to them, he's got to be ready to go.
Coach, appreciate the time. Best of luck tonight.
All right, thanks, guys.
NJIT has been making student success stories since 1881 and has the rankings to show for it. Nationally, Forbes.com ranks NJIT #1 for student upward economic mobility. U.S. News & World Report recognizes NJIT as one of America's top 50 public universities. And on the international front, Newsweek and Make Magazine call NJIT one of the top maker schools in the world. What will you make at NJIT? Learn more at njit.edu.
Red Bull fans, we partnered with Affinity Federal Credit Union to bring you the first ever New York Red Bulls credit card. The RBNY card let you earn points to redeem for team merchandise, exclusive experiences, and more. Earn triple points when using it at Red Bull Arena, on Red members, and all sporting good purchases. Make sure you sign up today. Your club, more rewards.
The Honda Civic and the Accord are uniquely stylish in their own way. But do you know what they have in common? Reliability and comfort? Sure. Available turbocharged engines? Of course. But also the driver, having fun for no reason, except for the thrill of driving a Honda. Named 2023 Best Overall Brand by Kelley Blue Book's KBB.com.
Based on 2023 Brand Image Awards from Kelley Blue Book, visit kbb.com for more information.
Look, he's walking.
Hi, congrats on the house. Happy birthday, Grandpa.
You take none of it for granted, and neither do we. At PSE&G, we're committed to your family's safety, so we want to be sure you know what to do if you smell gas. A natural gas leak smells like rotten eggs. If you suspect a gas leak, leave immediately. Move far away from the property, and then call 911 or PSE&G. Remember, smell, leave, call. To learn more, visit pseg.com/gas-safety.
Provident Bank believes commitment isn't something you say, it's something you do. That's why they back it up day in and day out. In checking accounts with better rewards, with lenders that understand your business needs, and by supporting teams with the most committed fans. That's why Provident Bank is proud to be the official banking partner of the New York Red Bulls and unofficially the most committed bank in the world. Learn more at provident.bank.
Wendy's home-style French toast sticks are so delicious, some are saying that they're better than their mom's breakfast.
Excuse me, did you just say Wendy's French toast sticks are better than my breakfast?
Mom, is that you?
Answer the question.
I said some people are saying that because they're so crispy on the outside and fluffy on the inside and perfect in every way.
Uh-huh. And what do you think?
I think it's time to tell people to choose wisely. Choose Wendy's sweet and crispy home-style French toast sticks.
That's still not an answer.
At participating U.S. Wendy's during breakfast hours.
Now, please turn your attention to the pitch for a special message from the players in today's match.
Aficionados, presten atención al campo para un mensaje por los jugadores del partido.
Bienvenidos a Leagues Cup. Esperamos que estén listos para disfrutar el partido y apoyar tan fuerte como puedan. No hay lugar para los gritos discriminatorios que ofenden a los demás aficionados. Mostremos amabilidad y respeto al de al lado y al juego. De corazón, gracias.
Let's show kindness and respect to your neighbor and for the game. From our heart to yours, thank you.
81 degrees here in Harrison, New Jersey. A little bit of the pregame festivities. As we were coming back on air, you didn't hear us talk right away. We were in the midst of a moment of silence, remembering Olivia Knighton, daughter of a former New England goalkeeper, longtime Revolution player and MLS keeper, Brad Knighton. Tragic story, losing his daughter. I believe he still coaches now with the Revs. And Steve, as a parent, you have your son Liam here tonight. Your 3 kids, my 3 kids. I can't even fathom, and we've both put a parent down, which is unbelievable pain. Couldn't imagine having to do that with one of your kids.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it's thoughts and prayers. I mean, I think he coaches the under-18 team, if I'm not, or the New England 2 team.
Yeah.
But, man, I can't imagine what him and his family are going through right now. So our thoughts are with him, and I'm glad that they have decided to do a moment of silence to reflect on just how fortunate we are. And, man, that's a tough one.
Regardless, just as long as I've been doing it and your association with the league, he's one of those guys that I don't think anyone ever said like a bad word about.
That's hey, right on. I agree. I mean, he is very well thought of and has a heart of gold. And man, that's a tough one.
Red Bull will take the field. They will attack right to left, south to north in the stadium tonight. Dante Van Zer, Tom Barlow, Laquinhas, Omir Fernandez, Frankie Amaya, Daniel Edelman, John Tolkien, Cameron Harper, Hassan Andam, Sean Nealis, Carlos Coronel, a 4-2-2-2. We think of 4-4-2 for New England. Georgie Petrovic in the net, Dave Romney, Andrew Farrell, Brandon By, DeJuan Jones, Mark Anthony Kay, Carlos Heel, Ian Harks, Noah Buck, Bobby Wood, Gustavo Bo up top. The one thing I would say, Stephen, if you want to say 4-4-2 for New England, you can almost forget about a spot for Carlos Heel because he can go anywhere he wants on the field at any point.
And he should. He's the big timer, man. He's the quintessential number 10. We've seen these for the admin of the entire league in terms of a special talented number 10 who kind of leads and orchestrates a team. And Carlos Heel, if he was on my team, I'd say pretty much the same thing for Bruce Arena and Charlie Joseph and, technical director Kurt Onolfo and Richie Williams. Just like, get the ball to Heel and get out of the way.
Teams played not too long ago here at Red Bull Arena. It was a 2-1 New York victory. Revs had a goal taken back at the death. Andrew Farrell took one that was called offside. Turned out that it hit a Red Bull player on its way into goal. Both teams going with, in essence,
first choice lineups. Revs start with it, and we are up and going from RBA, and an immediate collision between John Tolkien and Bobby Wood. The Red Bull All-Star gets called for tonight's first foul. Pierre-Luc Lazare is our referee tonight. Stefan Tanaka on one side lies. ARPA is the other. AR fourth official is Quincy Williams. Benjamin Whitty, the VAR. Diego Robles, the assistant VAR. Carlos Hill, who did not play last time, will take this free kick. It's a good bending ball at the penalty spot. Barlow, first opportunity to clear. Second one comes via Tolkien. He is tripped up by Noah Buck, the 17-year-old. And Tolkien there has a word for the center official.
Speaking of All-Star game earlier, you asked me, one of the great just treasures of the night was, I said, how excited, how reflective John Tolkien was, but his entire entry into the game was literally like right in front of my seat with my son Liam, and kind of rooting him on, and it's like a couple of times kind of look over and kind of winks at us and stuff like that. It was just fun to see somebody that you care about, somebody that you like very much, just enjoy the experience. I know it wasn't the result that he wanted, but it was really nice seeing a young person just really understand and be objective and just how important that kind of moment was for his life.
Buck with possession, leads off Brandon by Farrell, works it off the left side. Dave Romney to Juwan Jones. Carlos Hill dispossessed by Cameron Harper, who then ran out of real estate. They'll hold here for a second. Heel down. Steve, correct me or remind me. I should know off the top of my head.
At your age, you forgetful, so I understand.
Three-time All-Star?
Who?
You?
It's a funny story. Yeah, one time officially, but I got paid for 3.
Okay.
2001 was the one I played in, but it was a different time, and there was a lot of times where the league would say, hey, you deserve it, but we need to put certain players in the All-Star game. Gotcha. And you said, that's fine. Just make sure you write the check out, and I'll be okay. My ego can handle it.
One time you played in the game.
2001 San Jose.
Remember it?
Very much so.
Tied for the hardest shot.
It's a Pepsi Power shot.
Tied for the hardest
shot.
Yeah,
we were joking about that because spent a lot of quality time with Joe Cannon over the last couple of days.
And true or false, you still feel like that was rigged?
I was, without question. I told that repeatedly too. Yeah, I mean, there's no question that they gave home field love to Joe Cannon. I'm like, I want to see the digital readout, what it was.
What did you hit? What did you hit it at?
They had point. So they had tenths of a second. And I was, I think, 67.3, and he was like 67 on the dot. And they go, 67. And I'm like, no, wait a second here.
Ball over the top.
It's fine. It's fine. It's okay.
One of those things that you wake up in the middle of the night. 67.
67.3. In any case, him and I both, throughout the course of a couple of nights, especially late night, had a good laugh at that experience, I guess you could say.
Bunch of other games getting up and going. We'll keep an eye on them. Montreal and Pumas just kicking off. Next one will be Philadelphia playing host to Tijuana. Petrovic, goal kick. Plays it to his right, in the air. Sean Nealis, good aerial win. Van Zer, unable to control. Nadam plays it back towards the halfway line. Mark Anthony Kay put it down to the ground. Now it's Carlos Hill coming across the field from left to right. Thread pass for Noah Buck. Off on the right side by. First time touch into the 18, cleared away by Sean Nealis. Carlos Hill with it. Hill was an all-star for New England. Here's Gustavo Bo chipping, looking for Bobby Wood back post. That's going to roll out, and it will be a Red Bull goal kick.
Man, this schedule in this tournament really kind of favors us for the group play, right? Having the home field game and then playing the first game and not having a game until the next weekend. Not only do you get to play at home and play the first game and hopefully get the win here tonight, so you're kind of dictating your own success for the remaining balance of group play, but then having the team that you're playing play midweek, being able to see them.
And know what you've got to do in the last game.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, any I mean, you got to have success in this group play. I mean, you just got to have success. It's kind of like it's there for you. So there's no reason why we can't take advantage of it.
Cameron Harper wins one back, plays towards the top of the 18. Farrell off on the right side for Brandon By. Middle of the field, Heel. Edelman tracking back where he wins it. Tolkien in for Amaya. Feathers it forward for Omir Fernandez. Fernandez 30 yards out. Cuts to his right. He's got Van Zer inside the 18. Turns, takes a shot with his left foot. Was looking for a deflection that does not come. It will be a goal kick. A good little build-up. Van Zer just couldn't turn the hips enough and get it on target.
Well, I think the thing I struggle with more than anything else, I think Omir does an incredible job just kind of drawing that first defender. Good little cut there. Dante's asking for a deflection. But in any case, for me, when he does a great job cutting it back to his left foot, you got to get that on frame. You got to get it on frame.
If you get it on frame, I'll say this, it's probably a goal.
Yeah, I mean, great run. Great weighted pass there by Omir Fernandez. I love the cut that he goes from his right foot to his left foot, Dante. But that you got to finish, especially here in the first 6-7 minutes.
That Atletico San Luis New England game will take place Wednesday night, 7:30, up at Gillette. In the rare Revolution will be listed as the road team in that game. Ball given away. Barlow knocking back Laquinus. Square ball to his right for Frankie Amaya. Play Edelman. They've got Harper open on the right side. Harper slows the pace. In for Edelman. Will drop all the way back to Carlos Coronel. Coronel about 10, 15 yards outside of his 18. Hits up over the top. Off the head of Andrew Farrell. Out of play on the near sideline. Throw in coming for John Tolkien. Tolkien sporting the now blonde crew cut look.
I think I should go that way. What
Blonde?
do you think? Yeah.
Yeah,
I
be
think
good.
I should.
Perfect for you.
Keep it nice and tight. Throw a little blonde in there.
Laquinus tapping back and forth with Tom Barlow, cleared away by Brandon By. Now a foot race between Gustavo Bo, Sean Nealis. Backheeled for Carlos Heel. Referee will allow a play on. Heel was knocked down a bit between a couple of Red Bull defenders. Cornell to take a goal kick. We're in the 9th minute of action. Opening game for New York and New England in the 2023 Leagues Cup.
I don't know about you, Matt, but this game, especially after that Cincinnati and Salt Lake game, I mean, we could use some good positive win vibes after this one.
Agreed. Farrell will drop it back. Petrovic. Quick touch to his left. Dwan Jones. In the middle for Ian Harks. Harks getting it back. He's had a couple of goals since joining this Revolution team. Ball over the top. Tolkien able to touch it down, but it goes to Gustavo Bo. Here's Brandon By. On the overlap, it goes right across the face of goal. Nobody gets to it for New England. Saved, however, by Dwan Jones. Dropping back for Carlos Heel. Corner of the box left side. This hits it a bit, and it's going to roll out, and it will be a Red Bull throw-in.
Some nervy moments, to say the least. By with an absolutely perfect ball. First time inside that 6-yard box. Very fortunate that this New England Revolution team couldn't get on the end of that one. That was a great weighted ball on the ground. It's such a hard ball to defend defensively because you're going towards your goal.
Cornell hitting it to his left. Taken down by Brandon By. It's Gustavo Bo. Revolution through the regular season so far. Right now, second in the Eastern Conference, 12-4-7, 42 goals for, 28 goals against. These two teams in the East 4 bracket. Well, Buck fights off a challenge of Barlow. Revs will build on the left. Mistouched between Jones and Carlos Heel.
Probably a little fortunate, right? You saw Carlos Heel all by himself on that left-hand side. Jones missing that pass.
This involving all the teams from Major League Soccer, all the teams from Liga MX. The only two not involved in these group stages, Pachuca and LAFC. LAFC for winning MLS Cup last year. Pachuca, top team in Liga MX. Top two out of each group will advance. The Dom plays off to his right and takes it out of play. Everything done geographically in terms of teams from MLS. There's 3 groups in the West, 4 in the Central, 4 in the South, 4 in the East. Top 2 from each will join LAFC and Pachuca in the round of 32.
And that's just pure knockout. World Cup style. Fun.
Final is set for August 19th. Farrell getting it from Petrovic. Just about 12 minutes in. Good ball over the top for Brandon Bai. Heads it down for Heel. Trying a quick touch in for Gustavo Bo. Taken out of play by Daniel Edelman.
I know we got a couple of supporter shields, but what if we won our first playing cup?
Be great.
In the first year it existed.
Take it any way you can get it.
No U.S. Open Cup or MLS Cup, but I'll take a Leagues Cup right now. Why not?
Winner of this will go to the Champions League. I think in total, now this is, I think, a little bit based on who winds up winning other things, but I believe the 2 finalists and whoever wins the 3rd place game, Steve, will qualify for Champions League next year. There's 3 spots out of this tournament.
Yeah.
Harks, lot to play for. Romney pushing it off for Farrell. Barlow giving chase. Barlow trying to lock in Andrew Fowler. Good step by John Tolkien to win it back. Frankie Amaya with possession. Middle of the field. Edelman pops it over to his right for Cameron Harper. Harks rotating over. Edelman supporting Harper. Edelman gets it. Trying to touch around Mark Anthony Kaye. It's Cameron Harper driving towards the end line. Didn't get enough of a diagonal ball back. It hits Omir Fernandez on its way out.
I usually see players that are out wide, if they can't play that first ball, sometimes the more successful ball is the second runner coming in. Unfortunately for us, there wasn't a second runner, but I like the idea of, Edelman with a nice little weighted pass to that corner, 45 degrees. And you see Cameron, I think, is trying to find Omir Fernandez, but was caught between Omir Fernandez and Laquinhas there. But a good entry pass there by Daniel Edelman.
Harper, Fernandez, Amaya with the touch. From small business to personal checking, Provident, the bank that's committed to you, and it's a commitment you can count on. Provident Bank, the official banking partner of the New York Red Bulls. Harper, good touch to get around Harks.
Oh,
through a double team. Omir Fernandez off a play on. Harper stays down. Fernandez playing one in. Gets deflected on its way to Petrovic, and now
let's bring it back.
Pierre-Luc Lazare will stop play and check on Cameron Harper, who looks like he is holding on to his right leg. Hold it up real quick. 5 teams in the 2024 Champions League bracket will get entries into the round of 16. Pachuca already has a spot after winning the higher aggregate situation in Liga MX. Leagues Cup, MLS Cup, Central American Cup, Caribbean Cup. Those 5 go into the round of 16. Vancouver has already clinched winning the Canadian Championship. Runner-up, 3rd place here in Leagues Cup. Whoever wins the Open Cup, Supporter Shield winner, and then 2 other spots in Major League Soccer. Throw in for Tolkien coming, 16th minute, scoreless first half. Banzer tapping back. Carlos Heel was lurking. Can't keep it in play. Another throw in from John Tolkien. Sean Nealis leaving for Carlos Coronel. Bobby Wood chasing. Here's Harks, middle of the field. Noah Buck gives back to Harks. Overlapping run, Gustavo Bo down the right sideline. 10 yards off the corner flag, isolated with Harper. Bo holding things up. Hits the Dom on the way out. Looked like it hit his face.
Yeah. As long as he doesn't mess up that smile, right? Best smile on the team.
I thought you'd be impressed. He's just got normal dark hair tonight. He doesn't have the ocean
Pink,
blue, the green.
Oh,
yeah, took it right off the face. First corner for either team. It's Carlos Heel to take it. Referee coming in to have a word. New England so far dominating 65% of the possession. It's a good ball to Gustavo Bo towards the back post. Nadam able to go low and block it. Clear it away by Amaya. Up towards the halfway line. Farrell will let it bounce on the defensive half. DeJuan Jones. Harks leaves off Mark Anthony Kay. Deflected by Omir Fernandez. Steve, a Red Bull team so far in the first 18 minutes or so, sitting back a little bit more.
I was going to say the same thing. It was a little shocking that, and I think that has a lot to do with just very worried that with New England being such a good counterattacking team, just being cognizant of that and sitting back a little bit more than what we've seen over the last month or so, at least during the tenure of Coach Troy Lesesne.
Banzer down for Laquinius. John Tolkien tried to come in. Grab back by Edelman. Now leaves for Cornell. Possession fought for around midfield. Nadam and Wood. Harper comes in. Pokes it forward to Barlow. Through the middle of the field, Edelman. Joining is Tolkien off on the left side, 30 yards out. Plays one towards the back post. He had Barlow open. Little too much air on it before Barlow can redirect. It goes out for a New England goal kick.
I mean, we're only, 20 minutes in, ideally, and it still seems like we're kind of finding our feet a little bit. I think both sides, quite frankly, now that I think about it, just, not exceptionally great in the final third for both of our teams. Nobody's really kind of creating too many opportunities. I think it's just two teams just kind of working themselves into the game, I guess.
Throw in coming for Cameron Harper. Right attacking side for New York. Barlow tapping down for Fernandez. He plays it off of DeJuan Jones to get another throw in. Frankie Amaya, 25 yards out. Fernandez lets it roll through for Cameron Harper. Harper for Fernandez. Down for Amaya. Left side of the box, John Tolkien now pulls it. Back out of the box. Checked by Brandon By. Luquinhas flicks back for Edelman. Patient bit of possession here for New York. Luquinhas for Harper. Driven ball to the penalty spot. There's Van Zer to take a one-time shot. Petrovic had it in his sights to make the save.
A good little outlet pass there by Petrovic, but overall you got to be really happy with what Red Bull just demonstrate right there. We need more of this kind of stuff, that patience of just opening the field up, keeping the ball moving, creating your chances, and unfortunately Dante Van Zer couldn't finish it up, but a really good job. A lot of it built on this right-hand side as it gets across. It finally finds Van Zer, who's wide open, and is unfortunate that he couldn't finish it up.
Second good opportunity for Dante Van Zer so far tonight.
Got to finish these. I mean, at the end of the day, and he knows it, he's got to finish these. 20 minutes in, 2 legitimate chances. You can see Bai was kind of just left himself and just left Dante Van Zer wide open. Just got to better finish there. Try to find the corners a little bit more.
Tolkien will play it wide right for Harper. Red Bull starting to get much more involved in this game the last 5-6 minutes. Nadam, a touch, direct ball for Edelman. Plays back for Harper. 4 or 5 Red Bull players up towards the top of the 18. Fernandez circles back. Played toward the top of the box by Edelman. Tapped out of play by Farrell. Bouncing up, it's Amaya and Heel. Amaya keeps the pressure on for New York. He's got Tolkien to his left. He'll elect to go right in between Harper and Van Zer. Van Zer with it. Can he get a service off with a left foot? He does. Drive one low. Played out of danger by Romney. Nadam, a good step. He and Gustavo Bo do battle for it. Referee will allow some contact. And play continues in the 23rd minute. Fernandez fouled. New England thought there should have been a foul on Nadam. Amaya ahead for Barlow. Barlow taking off his feet. Luquinhas slides in. Keeps play going for New York. Right side for Harper, 25 yards out. Flicks in the 18 for Fernandez. Played there by Mark Anthony Kay. Here comes the double with DeJuan Jones. Same battle, Bo and Nadam, and this time Nadam will get called for a foul, holding on to Bo. Played quick by New England. Brandon By streaking forward on the right side. Tolkien rotates over. By mishits it into the near netting of the goal area of Carlos Cornell.
Oh, there's no question that we're having a little bit of success on that right-hand side. Cameron Harper kind of has the freedom a little bit to get forward. I also think we're going to start seeing Tolkien get a little bit more involved, just in terms of the style of play and their formation. This New England Revolution team just really allows and accents the ability of our outside backs to get forward.
Luquinhas. Barlow. Giving away, Heel. Red Bull was arguing ball should have been out. Barlow with a shoulder charge on Carlos Heel.
That's one way of stopping Carlos Heel, right? Just run into him.
Atletico San Luis team through the first part of Liga MX 1-1-1. Here Fernandez dispossessing DeJuan Jones for Tolkien. He's going to leave it in the 18 for Cornell. Hits it up towards and over the halfway line. Barlow with Romney. Farrell. Good defensive work to keep possession. Van Zer cuts off one angle. Barlow trying to cut off the other. Tough ball for Romney up towards the halfway line. Nadam won the ball and then got taken off his feet by Bobby Wood. And a yellow card coming. First time tonight we've seen that shown per side.
I know we mentioned that this Red Bull team is sitting back a little bit more than they have, but they saw a golden opportunity there to kind of press it a little bit. Ball gets played in the air. I don't know for sure if that was a yellow card. I know he's undercutting him a little bit, but I don't know if he really recognized the fact that Nadam was going to get so high, but there's a nice little high five and bro hug by Bobby Wood and Nadam. So it's all good.
Daniel Edelman will restart it. Switch coming across for John Tolkien. Goes out. It will be a Red Bull throw-in. Montreal striking first on Pumas, 1-0. Free ball that Bobby Wood's going to get to. Harper comes over, commits a foul. Steve, go back to the restart from Edelman. I don't understand the thought process of trying to switch it all the way across the field.
It's not even that. For me, it's just a matter of you see this New England team that's not really high pressure in us. I think if we can just be patient, keep the ball moving, those opportunities will create themselves, especially on the outsides. And I think there's a little bit of frustration now that we're almost entering the 27th, 28th minute, where we haven't really created as many opportunities as we think we probably should have right now. And I don't know if we really kind of recognized here.
Carlos Heel, a driven ball into the 18 off that foul from Harper.
I was going to say on the field itself, players recognizing that if we just open it up a little bit, keep the ball moving, it'll create some opportunities for us, because this is a New England side who almost have it looks like a little diamond shape there in the midfield. And Cameron Harper and John Tolkien have a highway north-south for them that they can use. So got to get them in the game.
Is it fair to say that through the first almost half hour, I would characterize the way both teams are playing as conservative?
There's a fine line between conservative and boring. I guess is the best way to say it. At least I would say it. It's just it's a Leagues Cup game. You got to kind of go after it a little bit. You got to be a little bit smarter, especially against the team that you've played before. So this is what I'm talking about here. Capitalize on this.
From Luquinhas. Amaya holding Fernandez. Top of the 18. Dispossessed. Amaya able to keep it on. Harper steps forward. Van Zer. Wide right. Tried to cut it back to his left foot. He'll play Harper, who gives it back to the 25-year-old Belgium.
But look how slow the pressure is on us. And this is kind of exactly what I'm talking about, is if we can be a little bit quicker moving off the ball, then the opportunities will come, because this is not a New England team that's really kind of high pressure and get after you.
Luquinhas on the right, tried to play it around DeJuan Jones. Now Bo in a one-man breakout. Edelman circling back, wins it, plays back to Cornell. And Edelman returns to get possession. Tolkien with it right now. He'll also go back to Carlos Cornell. 29th minute. Free ball. Edelman, who has been all over the field. No surprise there.
So much time. So much time.
Fernandez for Harper on the right side. Two combo for a second ball back and forth. Cameron Harper with it. Van Zer in for Barlow. Can he get a touch on it? Shouldered off at the last second by Farrell.
But you can see the inherent value of just being patient with the ball, just connecting passes. And Dante Van Zer did not miss Tom Barlow. A good little weighted pass, just a little too heavy, but good run there by Tom Barlow. Farrell doing a good job defensively, but that's the opportunities. There's no reason why we couldn't create those kind of opportunities just about every single time getting up the field, because there's no pressure defensively by this New England team. They're fine with sitting back a little bit.
Throw in for New York. Scoreless, just about a half an hour in. Van Zer, first to it. Second ball by New England. Here's Bo. Circles away from the Dom. Played by Tolkien. Gets deflected out. Will be, I believe, a throw-in. for the Revs. Throw-in coming for Brandon By, the 27-year-old former first-round pick out of Western Michigan. Buck across for Romney. Now to the left, DeJuan Jones. A Revolution team which comes in with a full 23-man roster, which is 12 on the bench tonight. I just thought when I saw that many, Steve, that maybe Bruce would call you to the other side.
No chance.
Just as like a gag.
Yeah, just to kind of mess with me one last time. Hey, Steve, you're on the team. Then he'd probably come up to me after the game. He's like, "You're going in." No, just kidding. Just keep staying. Keep your shin guards up.
One back, Fernandez.
And just keep an eye. Sorry, I interrupt. Just keep an eye when we win the ball. There's just absolutely no urgency whatsoever defensively by this New England Revolution team. Why are we losing possession? They want us to have possession, take the possession. And again, we'll create our own destiny in terms of how good we are with that possession. But there's no reason whatsoever that we should be losing possession. There's no pressure.
This is Carlos Heel for Brandon By. First ball in. Sliding tackle in the box by Nadam before it can make its way to Bobby Wood. Going to be a corner for New England. Second of the night for the Revs.
And that's a second ball by there on that right-hand side. Just really good pace. I love when you get the ball wide like this and you take it first time, you just bang it right across that 6-yard spot. So dangerous.
Heel to take the corner. In swinger. Headed up on Nadam. Second ball comes back to Heel. Nealis to head it out. Luquinhas did not possess, gives it back to New England. Carlos Cornell will see a ball over the top by New England out of play.
I think this Red Bull team, especially the coaching staff, is going to have a field day at halftime. If they can get through these next 10-plus minutes and even get in the locker room, worst case scenario, being tied here 0-0, I think they're going to see right away that if this Red Bull team can be a little bit smarter with their possession. And when I say patience, I don't mean being slow in the final third. I just mean being patient with trying to not, try to find the most difficult pass. Just keep the ball moving, be quick with it, and the opportunities will come against this defense right now against the Revolution.
.34th minute, no score. Montreal continuing to lead Pumas 1-0. Philadelphia and Tijuana just getting up and going from Chester. Edelman down for Tolkien, left side. The switch for Edelman is a good one for Cameron Harper. Takes it down with the inside part of his right cleat. Fernandez, a safe option. Harper wanting to be more dangerous. Plays one in to the box towards the 6. Van Zer was the target. It's taken out of play by Romney. First one tonight for New York in terms of a corner.
And this is something that you and I have spoken to almost about months now. Like when things aren't going what you want and things are not going the way you expect, if you can, to the best of your ability, take advantage of set-piece opportunities, you got to take advantage of them. And quite frankly, we just haven't this year. And this is a golden opportunity when you have guys like Nadam, Barlow, and Sean Nealis. Put it in and let's go after it.
John Tolkien, left-footed serve. Should be an in-swinger. Hits it well. Across, looking for Nealis, who was there. A foul's going to come as Andrew Farrell got sandwiched in between the two Red Bull center backs, Nealis and Nadam.
Well, good ball. You can see John and Nadam almost got on the end of that one. If anything, I think Nadam could have called off Sean and had a better opportunity there. But there's the strength of having the two big center backs up forward, is that they're going to be dangerous and they're going to create opportunities for you.
A few more opening games tonight. Seattle, Real Salt Lake, San Jose, Portland. Tomorrow, the finality of the first group stage games. Offside flag up on the Revs. Congratulations as well to the U.S. women's national team starting their World Cup with the impressive 3-0 win over Vietnam.
Impressive.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just the way they played. Not necessarily the team, but thought they looked okay.
All right.
Negative Nancy on the call.
I thought they were bad. I thought they could have been much better, quite frankly. And winning 3-0 against Vietnam, I knew they sat out. But I can tell you one thing, is if they played like that against Netherlands next game, I'm not so sure they're going to get a W.
I think the first game is the hardest.
Yeah.
So you get a win in the first game, no matter who you play. You get kind of the early butterflies out of the way. I'm an optimist. My partner is the opposite. He is a pessimist.
Fair point.
Jones against Harper. Trying to get to the end line. Cameron Harper, great sliding tackle to win possession back and come the other way. We have Fernandez sliding forward. Middle of the field. Luquinhas.
Go.
Back for Fernandez. 3-on-4 for New York. Fernandez holding, waiting for some help.
Too much.
In a double team against Mark Anthony Kay. Rebs win it back. Track meet is broken out as New England now coming forward. Heel circling through players on both sides. Bye up the line for Gustavo Bo. Barlow working back. Buck touching for Bye. Middle of the field, Heel just on his attacking side.
I mean, for me, that was a perfect example of what I've been talking about. Why does it take Omir Fernandez 7-8 touches to do something they could have easily done in 2 touches at most? And that's what's making the difference right now. Everything's a little bit more complicated than it needs to be.
Mark Anthony Kay gives it away to Fernandez. And then the newly acquired Revolution midfielder is called for a foul. Kay wearing the number 28. Came up as a native of Toronto. Played with TFC before going to LAFC Colorado, back to Toronto. And now here with the Reds. Tolkien for Luquinhas. Tee it up. Top of the circle. Save made by Petrovic.
Yeah, but good job. Good ball, John. 2 touches. Get it to Luquinhas, top of the box. He takes the shot. Now it forces this New England team, because you took a shot outside the box, to step up a little bit to open some space for our front runners next time. Overall, I'll take that all day. There's no reason why we shouldn't have had probably 7 or 8 of those type of opportunities here in the first half.
39th, almost 40th minute. Brandon Bye to take your throw in. He'll go back for Andrew Farrell. Red Bull unable to keep possession on their left side. Throw in again for the Revs.
I'm not so sure that either of these coaching staffs are going to be necessarily happy with their team's performance here in the first half.
The Dom just got away with a 2-hand shove into the back of Wood. Allows Van Zer to be isolated with Romney. Van Zer getting around Romney. Right-footed service in towards the back post. Luquinhas there. Fernandez the save by Petrovic. On the doorstep was Omir Fernandez off a ball that got left on a silver platter. Heel breaking out. Best chance of the night for either team. Tolkien eludes the slide of Gustavo Bo. Everything right there for New York, but the ball in the back of the net.
Well, overall, you got to be happy with the fact that Dante took the time, got the ball across. Great little opportunity. Unfortunately, we couldn't finish it with Petrovic with a big save, making himself big. But, this is what I've been talking about. Getting numbers in the box, people moving off the ball. Now it's starting to ramp it up. Try to get that goal before halftime. Why not?
Laquinhas, 30 yards out. Fernandez, simple touch, trying to get it to Harper, who's open on the right side. Fernandez will keep it himself. In for Van Zer, trying to turn on Romney. Hopes it out, comes back to Harper. Harper isolated with Noah Buck. Have a double for DeJuan Jones coming over. Harper stepping through a challenge. Referee thought about it, and Red Bull fortunate to get a whistle.
Well, here we can see a replay and did a great job, Dante, getting the ball across. And what I love the fact is that we've got numbers. Laquinhas was right there. Bai was worried about him. Bounces off right to the top of the six and couldn't finish that one. But the numbers and people getting in the box and the urgency of there was what made the difference. Unfortunately, an all-star keeper in Petrovic making a big save.
Some would look at that, Steve, and I think probably say, how do you not score there? Don't forget, Georgi Petrovic is a heck of a keeper. Sometimes you just got to say good save. Tolkien bluffs it. Amaya bluffs it. Tolkien hits it. Not enough to fool anyone for New England. Grabbed in the 6 by Petrovic.
Well, we're getting quality chances, and that's what you like to see. And I just think that maybe we probably should have quite a few more quality chances, just judging from New England's performance in the first half. And I think we're finally starting to get it in terms of, hey, if we just move the ball a little bit quicker, if our decisions are a little bit smarter here in the final third, that opportunities will definitely come up.
No score 10 minutes in between Philadelphia and Tijuana. 43rd minute. It's a corner for New England. Carlos Heel will take it. Third corner of the night for the Revs. Should swing out. The Dom got a head on it and was fouled by Brandon Bai.
The Dom's had a good game, huh?
Yeah, so far been solid.
Yeah, he's been good in the air, been dominant in the air, and that was a
head-to-head, right?
You got to be worried about guys coming in a little bit late there, and fortunately for us, the Dom's up. But again, I think there's still an opportunity here, maybe getting something on the end of this one. These final couple minutes here in the first half, we just want to be smart and make sure at the end of the day, you never give up a goal. You can't give up those goals in the last couple minutes of a half. Got to be in it.
Here comes DeJuan Jones off the Cornell goal kick. Jones got around Edelman for a second. Playing Heel, who cannot save it. A couple of times those two on the left side have missed each other. Unless something changes in the last minute here of regulation, don't think we'll have much in terms of stoppage time. A game that's become more entertaining as the game has gone on. Amaya, direct ball forward for Van Zer at the halfway line. Gets past Mark Anthony Kay. Into the box for Barlow. A chip for Tom Barlow. Hits the post, goes in, but the flag comes up. It will be looked at. Barlow, a quality finish. But let's take a look at the replay.
I mean, the run of the play, you got to like what you're seeing here, but there's no question that the linesman thought it was offsides right away. We'll see here. Tough angle that we're getting in terms of a visual. From that angle, it does look like he's a half a step off, but again, we've got a tough angle. We didn't really see the right angle. Looks like they're going to play forward.
I think the proper call.
Yep.
Although, with the changes coming next year with offside, that would have been a goal.
Exactly.
His whole body was not off, but enough of it was. We've hit 45 on the clock. Nothing signaled for stoppage time.
Well, again, I think we've been better the last 15, 20 minutes. No question. I think we're starting to really understand the game, what they're offering. New England Revolution created some good, solid chances here in the last 15, 20 minutes. Better.
That will take us to the end of our first half. Partner, let's take a peek at our Honda keys to the game before we throw into some sound and Red Bull head coach Troy Lesesne.
Well, this is a Red Bull team that I think has kind of recognized the fact that there's an opportunity there, and by having an opportunity, they're probably going to focus on what I think are probably the most important things to look at is just knowing that as you look for this Revolution team, this is a Revolution team that we didn't see this kind of same Revolution team when they were last year. You know, this is, again, a Revolution team that's come back just 2 weeks later, and they've won a lot of games. I mean, they're essentially 9 of the last 10 games they've won. The only loss is was us beating them a couple weeks ago. But after Cincinnati and Real Salt Lake, it's important that we get a good result here. And the final 20 minutes, again, is much better than the first 20, 25 minutes. Putting out that fire, New England Revolution has been a force to reckon with. As I mentioned, only losing to this Red Bull team at once after the last 10 matches. And they come in with a lot of confidence. And there's a reason why, because they're led by some talented players like Bo, like Bobby Wood, like Carlos Heel. Third key, new tournament, new opportunities. This is obviously a new tournament in the Leagues Cup, and it's important that we get off to a good start. I think it's also important that we have this game against New England and get to see San Luis, the other team in our group, on Wednesday night before we play them next Sunday. And you really got to take advantage of having this opportunity at home against a team that you know and try to get 3 points early.
No score between New England and New York halfway through the opening group game of the Leagues Cup East 4. We're going to throw to Red Bull head coach Troy Lesesne. Come back on the other side.
Coach, if you could share thoughts on today's training on feeling ahead of tomorrow's Leagues Cup game.
I think the training, not only today, but the entire week has been really focused. And I think there's an excitement to the group to be in a new competition, a competition that hasn't existed before. And we're looking forward to using this time period to be able to work on a lot of things that we want to improve and a lot of things that we've tried to focus on that I think we have implemented over the last couple of months that we've made progress. We want to make even further progress during this competition. So this is a really important time period prior to coming back into the MLS regular season. And we have full focus on what the Leagues Cup competition is in order to make the most of it.
At this time, we'll open up for questions. Mark, go ahead.
Coach, you had New England come in just a few weeks ago. Obviously, they were without Eel. Can you talk about facing this team that I would imagine has a little bit of an axe to grind based on how they match in?
Yeah, I don't know if that's the case necessarily. I think that they're a competitive group and they'll want to come back in here and also take advantage of a new competition and start the competition right. We all know that they're very capable in terms of their talent. They were missing not only one of their best players, but one of the best players in the league last time. So he could be available, and that could pose different problems than we saw in the first match against them. But I would expect both teams have a couple changes, either tactically or personnel-wise. And, we have a lot of respect, even from playing them in a short time period a couple weeks ago. We know that they're going to look at what we did and be very prepared themselves. It's going to be a tough matchup. And I think it poses an interesting question for both groups to be in this time period to turn around and play one another so quickly.
We'll take our next question virtually. Daniel, you may now unmute your line. As a reminder, please state your name and affiliation before asking your question.
Good afternoon, Troy. Hope you're well. Just how strange is it going to be that obviously we're taking a break here from the regular season in MLS to be involved in this tournament, and you're going to be facing not just New England, but obviously Atletico San Luis from Liga MX. What's that feeling going to be like for you right now?
Yeah, Daniel, I appreciate that question, and I really appreciate your use of the word break. I think that's something that we very much tried to identify at the beginning of this week as a group, that word is in no part in our mindset during this time period. It's the correct word in relationship to It's the MLS regular season, right? But how we view that word and how we use that word in relationship to this time period in Leagues Cup to again continue, like I said in the beginning, to work on the things that we need to work on, that we have to address with our strengths, continue to amplify these strengths, and then most importantly, how this competition allows us to finish the last third of the MLS regular season, and we want to improve our position. Clearly, this is why we can't use that word break right now. This is a chance for us to gain momentum, and we have to use it in the most positive way possible.
At this time, we'll take our next question from Gustavo. Your line is unmuted, and you are able to now ask your question.
Coach, good afternoon. Gustavo Guimarães, Território MLS, as you know me. My question to you is regarding Carlos Coronel. We know he is a very important piece of this roster, a leader in the locker room, but somehow during his last couple of games, he may have done a better job. I don't know if you... Are you focusing on having specific conversations with him regarding his latest form?
Yeah, you cut out a little bit there, but I think I understand the majority of your question in regards to Carlos. The one thing I would say about him as a leader is he's the first one to self-reflect and take accountability for his performances when they're not up to his standards. So that's number one. Number two, that rarely happens with him. So I think that he's someone that over the course of the entire MLS regular season has been one of our best performers and someone that we've relied on heavily to make game-changing plays in the game. And so that's what I expect of him. I don't have to have too many further conversations with him because he's really, really hard on himself. And ultimately, I think when he's in his top form, clearly, we've been one of the best defensive teams in the league throughout the majority of the year, and he's a huge part of that. So I'll expect a reaction out of him. He's one that wants to keep clean sheets, and he'll demand a lot of himself and the rest of the group.
Do we have any additional questions for Coach?
Yeah, just one minute. Coach, again, it's an interesting opportunity to perhaps look at some other players, perhaps players that haven't gotten a lot of playing time. You continue to have players that are working their way back from long injuries. I'm curious in terms of, without giving too much away, the kinds of opportunities that this tournament represents for them.
Yeah, it's an opportunity for everyone. That's absolutely the case. I would say we're probably one of the rosters that's most unique in the league that's utilized virtually everyone in the roster. So there's not a lot of guys necessarily that haven't played, maybe significant minutes is not the right word, but that haven't had opportunities to start matches or to come on in important moments. So I think that we've gained some of that experience and opportunities, especially in this last window of 13 matches since I took over. A lot of different players have had a lot of different opportunities. And I think this competition will present that as well. If it's the right time for different individuals that maybe haven't had as many starts or as many minutes, then there's no hesitation from me to play them, whether it's a Leagues Cup competition or it's a MLS regular season match.
Daniel, we'll go back to you. You're now able to unmute your line and ask your question.
Troy, obviously we just got the word about Dylan Nealis having that core surgery, and how difficult is it that you're going to be missing him for a good amount of time, including this Leagues Cup tournament? Obviously he's been such a strong defender for you and called in whenever you need him as a central defender or as a fullback.
Yeah, Dylan is someone that I feel like I've communicated throughout this entire season, that has such versatility in our group, and he can play a number of different roles for us. And there's a lot of value in what he brings to the team. His mentality, first and foremost, though, is really second to none. I mean, I think the Nealis brothers themselves have a really strong competitive mentality. And Dylan is someone that we're going to miss while he's out, but on the flip side of that, I'm very happy that
Wendy's home-style French toast sticks are so delicious, some are saying that they're better than their mom's breakfast.
Excuse me, did you just say Wendy's French toast sticks are better than my breakfast?
Mom, is that you?
Answer the question.
I said some people are saying that because they're so crispy on the outside and fluffy on the inside and perfect in every way.
Uh-huh. And what do you think?
I think it's time to tell people to choose wisely. Choose Wendy's sweet and crispy home-style French toast sticks.
That's still not an answer.
At participating U.S. Wendy's during breakfast hours.
Red Bull fans, we partnered with Affinity Federal Credit Union to bring you the first ever New York Red Bulls credit card. The RBNY card let you earn points to redeem for team merchandise, exclusive experiences, and more. Earn triple points when using it at Red Bull Arena, on Red members, and all sporting good purchases. Make sure you sign up today. Your club, more reward.
The Honda Civic and the Accord are uniquely stylish in their own way. But do you know what they have in common? Reliability and comfort? Sure. Available turbocharged engines? Of course. But also the driver, having fun for no reason, except for the thrill of driving a Honda. Named 2023 Best Overall Brand by Kelley Blue Book's KBB.com.
Based on 2023 Brand Image Awards from Kelley Blue Book, visit kbb.com for more information.
NJIT has been making student success stories since 1881 and has the rankings to show for it. Nationally, Forbes.com ranks NJIT number 1 for student upward economic mobility. U.S. News & World Report recognizes NJIT as one of America's top 50 public universities. And on the international front, Newsweek and Make Magazine call NJIT one of the top maker schools in the world. What will you make at NJIT? Learn more at njit.edu.
Provident Bank believes commitment isn't something you say, it's something you do. That's why they back it up day in and day out. In checking accounts with better rewards, with lenders that understand your business needs, and by supporting teams with the most committed fans. That's why Provident Bank is proud to be the official banking partner of the New York Red Bulls and unofficially the most committed bank in the world. Learn more at provident.bank.
Congrats on the new house, honey.
What's this? Carbon monoxide detectors?
Yeah, put one on every level. Because you can't see or smell carbon monoxide. And when fuel-burning appliances aren't working right, CO can build up and be deadly.
Guys, I'm on it.
We just want to know you're safe.
At PSE&G, we're committed to your family's safety. Know how to prevent carbon monoxide poisoning. If your CO detector goes off, leave immediately. Then call 911. Protect the ones you love. Learn more at pseg.com/gas safety.
Halftime here from Harrison with Steve Jolly, engineer Paul Schrager. I'm Matt Harmon. New England with 53% of the possession. Red Bull with 47. New York did have 4 shots, 3 of those on goal. Revolution with 1 shot, none on goal. Total passes 192 to 176 in favor of the Revs. Passing accuracy 75% for New York, 76% for New England. Revs had 3 corners. Red Bull had 1. Offside 2 for New England, 1 for New York. Duels 1, pretty even. 29-28 in favor of New England. Tackles 1, 5 aside. 3 saves made by Georgi Petrovic. Had a couple of big ones as well. Good chance for Dante Van Zer. Good chance for Omir Fernandez. Fouls, 7 for New England, 5 for New York. 1 yellow card coming in that first half. That was Bobby Wood in the 26th minute. Do not see either team getting ready, at least at this point, to make any changes. Montreal at the half, as we take a look at scores from around the league, has gone up 2-0 on Pumas. Philadelphia, a 1-0 advantage right now in their game as well against Tijuana. That is in the 26th minute. Next batch will be Seattle in Utah to take on Real Salt Lake. San Jose will visit Portland. Tomorrow, the last of the Group 1 games go off. NYCFC plays home to Atlas. Kansas City will be at Cincinnati. Columbus home for St. Louis. Colorado is at Nashville. And Minnesota and Puebla will play. That game is in Minnesota, but the Loons are listed in that game as the away team. Right now, we are scoreless. Bench for New York: Matt Nacita, Peter Stroud, Kyle Duncan, Elias Manuel, Drew Yearwood back, Wiki Carmona, Ronald Donkor. 2 keepers on the bench tonight for this Red Bull team. Ryan Mara is 1, and I do believe it's
because of the rules in the League's Cup, you've got to have 3 keepers on the bench. So New York calling up Aiden Stokes, who was just signed to New York Red Bull 2 on a homegrown contract. The 15-year-old is here tonight as the third keeper. Revs 12-4-7 during the course of the regular season so far. Second place in the Eastern Conference for New York, 6-9-8. They are in 11th right now in the East, a few points out of the playoff picture, which, even though we won't be talking regular season until August 20th when New York returns home, Cincinnati, New England, Philadelphia, Nashville, Orlando, Columbus, and Atlanta right now the top 7. That 8-9 new matchup, Chicago 32, DC with 30, then Montreal 29, New York, Charlotte, NYCFC in that order from 11 to 13, but all with 26 points, Toronto 19, and Miami right now with 18. Clearly changes taking place in Miami. Whether it's enough to move up the table and sneak into the playoffs, one never knows. Miami getting a win last night, 2-1 over Cruz Azul in their opening of the League's Cup. Orlando gets the extra point, 5-4 winner in PKs over Houston after that game finished tied at 1. Mazatlan over Austin 3-1. Dallas and Charlotte finished tied at 2. Charlotte got the extra point on the road, a 4-1 win in PKs. Lyon 2, Vancouver 2. And how about this for a wild one? Lyon wins 16-15 in PKs. Philadelphia has scored again. They now lead Tijuana by a score of 2-0. We're up and going in the second half. No changes made for either team. Gustavo Bo, Bobby Wood, Carlos Heel, Ian Harks, Mark Anthony K, Noah Buck, DeJuan Jones, Brandon Vai, Andrew Farrell, Dave Romney, and Georgi Petrovic. Coronel, Nadam, Nealis, Harper, Tolkien, Amaya, Edelman, Luquinhas, Fernandez, Barlow, and Van Zer. Good ball over the top comes for Noah Buck. He'll stop it inside the 18. Serve back across, headed out of danger by Harper. Cleared away by Amaya. Amaya bouncing forward. Barlow with possession. Will leave it off for Tolkien, who thought the ball should have some more pace. Mark Anthony K steps right in. Carlos Heel flicking into the 18. Coronel will tap it before it makes the end line. Coronel will, I think, elect to play this on the ground. He will. Off to his left for Barlow. Heads it forward. Farrell tracks it. Far side corner. Played up towards the halfway line. Wood. Tolkien now in the middle of the field. Amaya. Van Zer onside to his left. Bit of a heavy touch going forward. Farrell able to win it back defensively. Wood poking forward at the halfway line. Sean Nealis with possession. Will play Nadam. Harper tangled with Gustavo Bo. Cameron Harper is going to get a yellow card for taking down Bo.
A lively first minute or two. What do you think, right? Looks like two teams who went to the locker room realized that there were some things that they could probably work on, and I feel like there's some opportunities there to get some points here, so they're coming out with a little bit of energy.
Heel flicking forward. Harper taps up to Fernandez. Challenge between Fernandez and Bo. Both players are down, but there was no call one way or the other. Noah Buck with it. Teams will play 10 aside as Pierre-Luc Lazare will let play continue. Noah Buck to the end line. Diagonal ball. Gets around. Luquinhas takes a shot. Deflected out by Sean Nealis. Bo and Fernandez still down. We'll have to get a replay, Steve, of this. Did not look good.
You know, they're both, you can see, really struggling. And looks like two players coming in a little. Oh, man, yeah, that's just two players coming in. And you can see Bo slips a little bit there coming in. And almost looks like he rolls his ankle, right? That left ankle as he kind of comes in. Yeah, Bo. Kind of lost his touch a little bit. hopefully everybody's okay. It'll be a big loss if any one of those two players are forced to come out here.
Fernandez is in pain. Looks like his right shin. Bo getting the cold spray on the ankle. Steve, Fernandez really hurting. A Red Bull team which can ill afford any more injury issues.
No. How's that possible?
Bo is up. Fernandez still down. He's getting the cold spray on his right upper ankle, more like his shin. Does it now appear to be okay? That cold spray works something good, huh?
Oh, man. I wish I could just keep it like in my pocket.
Always.
Yeah.
Just walk around with it.
Oh, boom, spray.
Fernandez will go to the sideline. One more look at it.
Yeah, I just think it's
no foul, right? I mean, no intent. I mean,
no intent. I would say that Bo is coming in, slides, unfortunately loses his space, and yeah, it's just unfortunate kind of a situation there. And hopefully everybody's up and okay, and I think we're going to see some bro hugs on the sideline. So.
Two players talking to one another.
Maybe not.
Omir Fernandez
chirping a little bit. Good job, Omir.
Like to hear whatever Bo said. Teams will play 10 aside for this corner, which New England was able to get. Carlos Heel will take it. It's with his left foot, bends in. Sean Nealis gets to it. Now it's going to roll in off the second bounce for Coronel. Floats it off to his right side on the roll for Luquinhas. For Fernandez, who's back on. Fernandez coming down the right side. Trying to slip Luquinhas inside the 18. Farrell there to defend. Clear away. Ahead for Gustavo Bo. Cameron Harper on the yellow card. Bo wins possession back. Now it's Bobby Wood. Dropping for DeJuan Jones. Gives back to Wood. Harper re-wins it. Taps to Edelman. Amaya looking for movement. Flick to Fernandez that winds up out of play, and a throw in for New England.
Man, I think I might go early with substitutions. Bring some energy into this game.
Pierre-Luc Lazara's getting some kind of communication from VAR. He's holding play up. I think it was Hassan Nadam with a potential foul that no one saw.
See Bruce Arena questioning the decision to stop play because he didn't see it as well, but looks like everything's okay.
Yep, play on. Jones blasting one from left to the right. Comes to Tolkien. Sean Nealis playing Cameron Harper at the halfway line. A great step by DeJuan Jones. Plays in for Gustavo Bo. Up the line for Jones. Will run out of play.
Oh, look at me. I made a good call. I think they're going to make a substitution right now. I was saying that we needed a substitution. Like, I know it's a little early, but we needed a little bit of energy.
Kyle Duncan will come on. One would assume for Cameron Harper with the yellow card. Amaya wins it defensive half. Tolkien with a lot of space on the left sideline. Barlow making a diagonal run. Ball is left for Edelman. Creeps into the attacking half. Cross for Luquinhas. Luquinhas dispossessed by Noah Buck. Sean Nealis had it for a second. Now Edelman will stop the counter, take it out of play. Duncan will come on for Harper. A like-for-like substitution at the right back. Almost a sub, Steve, that Troy Lassane is forced into, right, with the way this game is playing and on a yellow card?
I think it's a Troy Lassane that kind of looks at this game and says to themselves, like, hey, there's opportunities in width. And in our first implementation of bringing some players in is the idea of bringing in a Kyle Duncan to hopefully can get forward, create some opportunities because, I mean, again, I see this New England team kind of sitting back, not really putting a lot of pressure. I cannot understand whatsoever why we could ever lose possession unless it's in the really threatening final third spot as they kind of retreat to that final third. We just, like we did in the last 15 minutes of the first half, got to be sharper to keep the ball moving.
Kyle Duncan a throw into the box. Too high for Tom Barlow. Easy grab for Petrovic. Georgi Petrovic, the 23-year-old Serbian, said to have been on the radar for several teams in this transfer window. Heel trying to slip Bo down the seam. One back by Duncan. Edelman on the move. Halted by Mark Anthony Kay with a good slide. Amaya off to his left. Luquinhas. Tolkien on the overlap. Trying to get to the end line. Played off of Brandon By. Corner coming for New York.
Love it. Absolutely love it. I love when the fact that we commit ourselves in terms of getting the ball out wide and that individual gets to the end line. Worst case scenario, by serving that ball, it either sneaks in and we make a dangerous up play or we're good in this situation where we now have a set piece opportunity where we think we can be a little bit more threatening.
Tolkien to swing this one out with his left foot. Good ball. Nadam keeps it alive. Barlow plays it down. Amaya comes in off the half volley. Cannot put it back on target. Goes out for a goal kick.
And that's where we talk about where we need to be a little bit sharper here in the box. Does a great job keeping it moving. Man, that was a golden opportunity there for us. The ball's laid off there, as at least bounces off Nadam, and then Barlow fights for it. Amaya just could not get on the end of that the way he wanted it.
Buck to his right, Brandon By. Back to Buck. Spins around Luquinhas. As Heel. Slowed by Edelman for a second. Now Bo, top of the 18. Shot deflected by Nealis. Second defender in is Fernandez. Red Bull trying to counter. Here Fernandez fouled by DeJuan Jones. Fernandez asking the referee, how many times do I need to get hit before someone is shown a yellow? Kyle Duncan creeping up on the right side. In for Banzera. Free ball, middle of the field. Here's Wood. Looking and holding. Plays to a wide open Brandon By on the right side. Heel joins him. Edelman circles over to defend. Heel left-footed service. Bo, 21 yards out, looking towards the back post. Headed out by Nealis first time. Mark Anthony Kay comes in hard on Daniel Edelman. Foul called on the Rev midfielder.
I'm looking more at like consistent infringement or anything like that. I saw a replay of the play where it was questionable if our guy Nadam came through a little late and raised his hand. Oof. Close one.
To which the answer is yes.
Oh, he did. So for me, I think I'd go to a guy like Wiki Carmona, who had some success against this New England team a couple of weeks ago. I get him on the field. Omer Fernandez, maybe we take out.
By about a Doncor tonight?
Yeah, Doncor, maybe even a
little boost of energy.
Yeah, a little boost of energy. I think he's always been a player when we put him in, kind of offered us some pace. My thing is with Wiki, it's like, I love that outside shot in these situations. If they're going to be slow to step out to you, you take the outside shots. Next thing you know, the next time they think they get a step up, and then maybe our final front runners can get a little bit more space than what we're seeing right now.
Daniel Edelman checked on, will have to go off as the training staff came on. Does look like he's okay. Red Bull reserve players continuing to warm. Cornell high in the air off his right foot. Barlow able to head it down for Tolkien. By coming forward, Bobby Wood taken off his feet by Edelman. Referee says play on. Tolkien to his left. 60th minute, no score between New York and New England. First of two group games. Atletico San Luis, the other team. They will play New England at Gillette on Wednesday, here next Sunday against New York. Fernandez dancing on the right sideline, leaves for Duncan. Duncan's touch gave it away to Juwan Jones, who in turn plays a bad ball to Brandon By. Has to retreat, go back and get it towards the corner flag. By now chipping forward. Sean Nealis, an easy play in for Cornell. Wood chases him. Nealis gets it to the halfway line, won by Mark Anthony Kay. This is Frankie Amaya with possession. Leaves for Edelman. You'd love to see a bit more, Steve, of the last 20 minutes that Red Bull showed you in the first half than what you've seen here in the first 15 of the second.
I would just like for us to take advantage of the fact that they're offering us an opportunity to possess the ball and we can be smarter with it. Like right here, as you saw right there, we got to be better. They're not putting pressure on. Just 1-2 touches. It doesn't have to be rocket science here.
Heel in the middle of the field. To his left for Gustavo Bo. Mark Anthony Kay. Heel against Duncan. Circling back out, Romney. To his right, goes to Buck. Two teams probably realizing 3 points tonight, if you win in regulation, could go a long way to making sure that you move into the next round. Again, all of these teams that we're seeing tonight and next week, Wednesday for New England and Atletico San Luis, part of East 4. They are then in turn matched up with East 3. First place of either will play second place of either. That is NYCFC, Toronto, and Atlas. Dave Romney with possession. 63rd minute. Jones forward for Gustavo Bo.
Man, this is tough. Tough to watch.
Jones isolated on the left side corner of the box. Whips one towards the back post. Will clear everyone and go out for a Red Bull goal kick. If you're interested, the first part of the season for Liga MX is up and going. Teams have played 3 games, an 18-team first division, Chivas 3-0 so far. Monterrey 2-0-1. Juarez 2-0-1. Pumas 1-0-2. Tigres 1-0-2. And then Atletico San Luis 1-1-1. 4 points through their first 3 games. Substitution made. Emmanuel Boateng will come on. Noah Buck coming off. Subs coming down for New York, and a host of them.
Well, I'm all in with changes right now because this is not good enough. If anything, we're giving this New England team a lot of confidence on the road. And, we continue like this. I fear that we're not going to come out on the right side of this game.
Tolkien on the left side. Great touch to get around Brandon By. Tolkien coming in the middle of the field. Fernandez, 22 yards out. Duncan now inside the 18 on the right side. Back to Fernandez. See if Red Bull can be patient here, keep some possession. Tolkien staying up, an angle to his right. Edelman covering for him on the left side. Fernandez dropping back for Tolkien. Back across for Edelman. To his left, Van Zer, who's gone wide that direction. Looking to get around Brandon By. A service in. Looking for Barlow. A bit too high there. Duncan lurking towards the back post. It's taken out of play by DeJuan Jones. Corner coming for New York. Struggling a little bit here, New York, maybe, to find the game. Do they have something off a set piece here in the 66th minute of a scoreless Leagues Cup game? Tolkien to hit. Driven ball back post, punched away by Petrovic. Played back in by Edelman. Mielis for Nadam. Tried to sneak it into the near post, but it goes out of play.
Getting a little bit better in terms of our opportunities off these set piece opportunities. Good to see. Looks like we're going to have a nice little line change.
Elias Manuel, who has been nicked up as of late, will come on. Tom Barlow out. That's one change. Ronald Doncourt coming on. Omir Fernandez coming out. Drew Yearwood also nicked up as of late. He comes out in favor of Luquinhas. So in essence, the 3 changes all in the attacking spots. Manuel takes over for Barlow, Doncourt and Yearwood in, Luquinhas and Fernandez out. Off the goal kick, Tolkien able to head it, keep things on the Red Bull attacking half. Amaya against Mark Anthony Kay. Gives it away to Harks. Here comes the breakout. Bo playing in for Bobby Wood is there. Coronel sliding over. Wood just lost touch of it. That was an easy goal-scoring opportunity for Bobby Wood, who has been very good this year.
Well, let's talk about what is very good, and it's Bo with just 1, 2, nice and simple, throwing in the box, and Bobby Wood is beside himself. Knows he desperately needs to be better there with that first touch, but what a ball by Bo.
Not even sure, Steve, that he needs the first touch.
Just take a shot first time,
yeah.
Right? Just hit it to the far post, right?
And beating
on the
Nadam
ground
down the field. Hopefully not a sign of things to come. Revolution at this stage on the road. They would get a point with an opportunity for a second point in the shootout. Little twist in how games are played. Good ball by Jones, ahead for Boateng. Yearwood able to win it back for New York. Duncan plays up the line for Yearwood. Middle of the field, Edelman. Doncor now to his left. Direct ball for Van Zer. Now over the top again, it's Bo. One more time, Bobby Wood down the middle of the field. Bo against Tolkien. Bo takes a shot. Save made up high by Cornell, but that's twice that New York has gotten stretched. And twice that it's pretty much become almost a 2-on-1, Steve.
Yeah. As we kind of mentioned, this game becomes kind of more of a counterattacking game. This is where this New England Revolution excels. And so that's why I'm desperately at this point pleading with our team. Does it need to be 4, 5, 6 touches? Can we please move the ball 1 and 2 touch, create as much space as possible, and try to the best of our ability to just capitalize on a team, a New England Revolution team that just wants to sit and counter. Just like, come on, guys, you got to recognize it on the field.
Cornell, direct ball right down the middle. Out of the air, Romney. Headed forward by Harks. Wood was breaking forward on heel. In New York playing tonight without Andres Reyes. John Tolkien wanting a handball. Instead, it's Gustavo Bo across the top part of the 18. Heel dispossessed by Doncor. Given away, though, by New York at the halfway line. Heel with possession. Doncor again pokes it away. Van Zer holding it up. It'll come through to Yearwood on the right side. Yearwood playing towards the top of the 18. Gets it back from Manuel. Open Doncor. Played it back across. Needed to be more selfish there. Take a shot. I think he got stuck in between. Do I rip it? Do I play it across? It was kind of half of both.
But please keep an eye on what this setup was. It was simply 1 and 2 touch. Look at this 1-2 touch to Yearwood, 1 touch. And it was just, it looked to me like he just mishit it, or he's trying to kind of figure out if he wanted to hit that far post. Get selfish. You had the space in the box. 1 touch to set up, another one to finish. But, man, it looks good when we play 1 and 2 touch and keep the ball moving.
71st minute, no score. Small business to personal checking. Provident, the bank that's committed to you, and it's a commitment you can count on. Provident Bank, the official banking partner of the New York Red Bulls. Across for Dante Van Zer, top of the 18. Dispossessed by Romney. Played forward by Jones. Bobby Wood with it. Edelman and Nadam get it back. Giacomo Vioroni will come on. For New England, 24-year-old Italian DP. Space again from heel. Looking forward for Wood. You would think that would be for either Bo or Wood with Veroni coming on. Tolkien off on the left side. It seems like, Steve, for both teams, there's a potential goal out there.
Yeah, the game has really opened itself up here in the last 10 minutes or so. Looks like both teams are going to create some chances here.
Duncan for Manuel at the end line. Tried to go high near post. Plays it into the netting. Here comes your substitution. Bobby Wood will come off. Veroni will come on. Second change made by New England. Giacomo Veroni, the 24-year-old, signed by New England this past offseason. Boateng and Veroni, the 2 changes that Bruce Arena has made so far. Red Bull had brought on Manuel, Duncan, Yearwood, and Doncor.
You just get the feeling that as this game kind of opens itself up, that be shocked that it ends with a 0-0 scoreline at this point.
Duncan, good defensive play to poke it away from Boateng.
1 touch.
Duncan has Van Zer to his right. Manuel running in the box. Goes past Manuel.
Well, what is he going to do with that ball? Like, Manuel's running across the goal, already past the goal. Your opportunity of getting the ball, Duncan, and pushing it wide right is a much better option.
Doncourt, 1v1 against Brandon By. Plays heel. Leads off Parks. Towards the midline. It's Veroni with the opportunity. Red Bull getting possession back. This is Drew Yearwood. Angled ball to his right for Duncan. 30-plus yards out. Van Zer, top part of the circle. Amaya for Doncourt. Ball moving. Doncourt lost his footing for a second. Gets it to the end line. Lays a diagonal ball. Tapped out by Farrell. Corner for New York.
You can see probably the best opportunity was that one first touch. Right there, left-footed, but instead he kind of takes his time with it. But I love this idea. Correct your maybe initial mistake by getting into the end line, trying to get across. And again, here's a set piece. Can a set piece get us out of this little hole in terms of being able to finish off or at least get a goal in this game?
Tolkien to hit it. Left corner, outswinger. Two-step run up. Looking for Nadam. Knocked out of play, out of the area by New England. Kept in by Duncan. To his left, Tolkien. Taps for Doncourt. Trying to get it back to Tolkien. Heel will clear up towards the halfway line. Duncan wins back. Doncourt with it. Here's Amaya. There's Doncourt. Duncan now in the middle of the field, looking for some help. They'll find it from Nadam. Up the line, Van Zer. Good first touch to get away from Jones. Ball played across the 6. Nobody there for New York.
Good job. Get the ball wide, get it across. Nothing to complain about in terms of what Van Zer did there, but maybe a little bit of a complaint not having midfielders running in that box. This is like, why does it take us this long? Just keep it moving, too slow.
Lofted ball across, headed out by Brandon By. Sean Nealis with a push into the back of Veroni. Possession 51-49 in favor of the Revs, whose plan tonight, often tonight, has been give it to Red Bull. New York has had 8 shots, 3 of those on goal. Just once Carlos Cornell has been called on to make a save. Duncan creeping forward, 77th minute. Scoreless first game of the 2023 Leagues Cup. Nadam lost his footing. Gives it back away to New England. Edelman there to save. Yearwood forces one down the middle. Edelman called for a foul on Carlos Heel. 74th minute, Montreal leads Pumas 2-0. Halftime, Philadelphia 2-0 advantage on Tijuana. Mark Anthony Kay with possession. Tolkien takes it away at midfield. Cuts back across. Amaya with some space in front of him. Turns, goes left. Tolkien hits it, but it goes out over the end line, deflected by Mark Anthony Kay. Another corner coming here for New York. It's their 5th of the night. Taken quickly by Tolkien. Frankie Amaya with it. Lofting into the box for Van Zer. Played out by Romney. Foul is called on Red Bull.
At this rate, you would think that the coaching staffs on both sides are kind of looking at it and saying who are going to be our PK takers. You hope in this final 10 minutes, this Red Bull team can pick up a goal here.
Petrovic laying down the middle, headed forward, Nealis. Possession kept. Manuel, Amaya, Tolkien, all with touches. Going now to the 80th minute, 11 and stoppage time remaining. Cornell looking forward for Duncan. Goes off of DeJuan Jones. New York throw-in. Taken quickly by Duncan. Van Zer, corner of the box, now inside the 18. Through a double team, keeps possession. Leaves for Duncan. Edelman with speed, trying to get to the end line around Romney. Now we'll curl back out. Fourth touch, back to the middle. Amaya tees it up. Too much on it. Over the crossbar and in to the south ward.
Looks like maybe a substitution. Stroud coming in.
In the middle for Yearwood. Played across for Van Zer. A bit too much pace. Stroud, that would be for Amaya or Edelman, you would think. Van Zer open on the right side. Looking for numbers to get in the box. Instead, we'll leave it off for Edelman. Amaya to Tolkien, corner of the box, left side. Tolkien with it. Amaya, top of the circle. Manuel for Yearwood. Play back and forth. Easy grab by Petrovic. Interesting in a way, Steve. You mentioned PKs. Omir Fernandez would be the guy. He was subbed out. You would think Laquinhas would be in that top mix as well, also taken out. Romney playing forward. Veroni. Mark Anthony Kay to his left. DeJuan Jones. Rebs will make a change as well. Justin Renix will come on. Foul on Drew Yearwood. Renix, homegrown player out of South Hamilton, 24-year-old. Played collegiately at Indiana. Van Zer off a giveaway to the end line. Hits it off of Romney with a sub. Foul was missed both ways. Peter Stroud will come on. It will be Frankie Amaya who will come out. And that other change that we mentioned, Renix coming on, and it looks like one more, Ryan Spalding, I believe, getting his jersey on for the Revs.
I know. I mean, you got to think that this is a New England team that says to themselves, okay, worst case scenario, we get our point, put this into PKs and try to steal 2 points and get the heck out of here, right?
100%. Tolkien to hit. Off the corner. Bends it. Petrovic punches it away. Bo and Edelman race for it. Bo has it. Trying to break Carlos Heel. Stroud just into the game. Last man back for New York. Plays it safe and takes it out of danger.
I love that decision. So many times you see players try to keep possession there and turn the corner. Nope. Kick that ball out and let your guys get behind the ball, especially here in the final 7 or so minutes.
Bruce Arena just asked somebody if they were okay and got a positive response back. So he'll hold his substitutions for a minute.
He's also looking to be smart about when those substitutions come to kind of kill the time a little bit.
A goal for either team, you would think the way that this game has gone, might secure all 3 points at this stage. 84th minute, no score. Jones a throw-in. In for Veroni. New York has used 5 changes. This is Gustavo Bo. Good service into the area, headed out by Duncan. Second ball won, however, by Harks to keep pressure on. Bo again is given space. By on the overlap. Great diagonal ball that Nadam was able to read well. New York back on their heels a little bit. A deflection from Manuel. Goes to Doncourt. Forward, down the seam, but too much on it. Looking for Yearwood. Boateng. Tapping back and forth with Heel. Jones against Duncan overlapping. Ball was kept in play by Jones. Flicked up by Duncan. Headed forward, Romney. Stroud clearing. He'll get called for a foul as his cleat came up high. If we get to 90 with no score, both teams will get a point in the group with a chance at one more in a shootout that will immediately follow. No extra time. Carlos Heel. Great ball in.
Ooh, man.
It was laid down by Edelman.
Kind of looked like a handball there,
It
didn't it?
did. They're going to look at it. There's not a ton of protesting from New England.
Oh, my goodness. Yikes.
Don't know if it hit or not. Still checking. Cornell waiting to be told whether or not he can play it or not play it. We saw a couple of looks at it, but to be fair, none slow motion where you could really get a sense.
I'm officially worried. We'll say that. Oh, man.
I think handball?
Yeah.
Still looking and play on.
My goodness. Oh, my goodness.
Well, I know who that's not going to make happy, and that's Bruce Arena, who felt like he didn't get justice with VAR last time they were here. That's going to add a couple minutes. We're into the 88th. 3 in stoppage time remaining. Edelman playing to his left. Doncourt whipped the ball in. A good one. Looking for Van Zer. Played out by Romney. Just beat Van Zer to the spot. Stroud draws a foul on Boateng.
There is no possible way that I would do anything other than playing that back 6 corner and allowing your guys like Nadam and Sean Nealis after it. I know they like splitting the 2 players. I just cannot see that rationale. There's only one option here. Put both of your most dominant headers in the entire field for both teams on one corner and just throw it and go after it here in the final 2 minute of the game.
Tolkien and Edelman both around it. Solid 33 yards out. Tolkien plays for Yearwood. Diagonal ball back across, knocked down by New England. Red Bull keeps possession Nadam gets on the end of a Yearwood service, but the offside flag was up. Wow. Farrell deflected out by Manuel. Minute and stoppage time remaining. We didn't see any in the first half. Likely we see a couple here in the second. Yearwood for Doncourt, gives it back to Yearwood. Plays to his left for Tolkien. Serve that gets handled by Farrell. Nealis called for a foul on Carlos Heel. Rebs possession. We'll wait and check stoppage time. New England still has Renix and Spalding up and half ready. Bruce Arena talking things over with assistant coach Richie Williams. 4 minutes of stoppage time. We've hit 90 on the clock. Atletico San Luis playing Wednesday in New England. Next Sunday, July 30th, here at Red Bull Arena. Rebs have something cooking off on the right side. Tough touch for Brandon By, trying to give it back to Ian Harks. Manuel at the halfway line. Stroud and Harks come in for it. Mark Anthony Kay comes away with it. Gustavo Bo inside the 18. Duncan and Nadam come over to defend. No shot taken. Throw in, however, for the Rebs. DeJuan Jones will take a throw in. Played back by Romney. Cross for Farrell. He'll go to his right for Brandon By. Middle of the field, Harks. He'll try to back flick. That goes out of play. Red Bull will take a throw in. Banter, chesting down. Now Stroud with it, has Duncan open on the right side. Step by DeJuan Jones. Nadam sliding in, taking it away from the Rebs defender. Quick throw in by Jones. Gustavo Bo chipping forward. Veroni off to his right for Heel. To his left, Boateng. Now Jones. Trying to draw a foul. Keeper's out. Petrovic with Panzer lurking. Bruce Arena wanted a foul on Kyle Duncan. We go to the second part of our 4 minutes of stoppage time. Duncan's throw for Manuel. Harks. Duncan gets a touch on the sideline. Gets around a couple of Revolution players. Yearwood picks up the loose ball. Cleared away by Harks. Bo flicking forward for Veroni. Has a half step on Nadam. Veroni, corner of the box, left side. Has Heel to his left. Circles back out, now gives it to the Revs captain. Heel coming to his right. Slipping Veroni, taking a shot, saved by Coronel, cleared away by Nealis. Much too easy of an opportunity there for New England with a minute to go. Red Bull fortunate. Coronel called on for a rare save tonight. Play continues. Whoa. We're going to tee it up from 25 yards out. Deflected out by Tolkien, who was slow to get up. Not much remaining, and there is the whistle. Both teams will get a point in the group stage tonight, and we will go right to PKs.
Well, fortunately for us, after a disappointing 90 minutes, it's Carlos Coronel at the very end making a big save, giving us an opportunity to pick up an extra point here. You know, I think there's an element of reflection here, saying to yourself, you know, guys, we didn't play our best game. Worst case scenario, you got your point. Let's try to do whatever's necessary, especially with how we know that Carlos Coronel is so good at these PKs. Let's try to pick up an extra point. This should be interesting just because of the quality of both goalkeepers right now.
Pumas has come back to tie things with Montreal at 2. Tijuana has pulled a goal back against Philadelphia. Union lead there 2-1. We're heading to PKs. There were 3 games on the first night of the League's Cup that went to penalty kicks. Orlando 5-4 over Houston in PKs. Charlotte 4-1 on PKs. And the stunner of the night was Lyon 16-15 over Vancouver on PKs. Captain's going over for instructions. In that 16-15 Lyon PK win, there were 19 rounds that were taken.
Crazy.
Even more interesting in some regards. How about this, Steve? Both teams made 2, then both teams missed 2 in a row. Both teams made 3, then both teams missed the next one. Then it went down to that last one. Lyon made it, and Vancouver did not.
Well, judging from everybody knew the rules of this competition and knew the importance of what PKs will be on the success of your team in this competition, knowing that there will probably be quite a few ties, I think every player was well aware of who was going to take them and who wasn't going to take them, at least for the first 5.
Which goes back to my point with the subs that were made. You took out Fernandez, who's kind of your probably main PK guy, and Luquinhas, you would think would be in the first 5. I don't know, Steve, hypothetically, I'd go Manuel, Van Zer, Tolkien, Stroud, Yearwood. Not in that order per se, but I'm just guessing what 5.
Yeah. I do like being able to take the first kick, put some pressure on the team. So hopefully Manuel steps up and puts it in the back of net for us.
Manuel took a PK in Columbus that was missed.
Oof. Come on, keep it positive, buddy. Come on. Come on.
Shot at redemption. He will shoot first for New York. New England with Bo, Veroni, Heel. You would think those 3 are locks to take him for the Revs. Here is Elias Manuel. Music turned down. Steps up, stutters, takes it, save. Petrovic. Almost looked like it was an easy read for Petrovic to make.
I mean, I am such not a fan of that stutter. It just slows your momentum. And it seems to me that whenever people do that stutter, they put their head up and give a little bit of a
where is it going?
Where is it going? And I just do not. I think keep your head down, know where you're going to hit it, and just put some pace behind it. And now we have officially put ourselves in the hole.
Carlos Heel will be the first to take for New England. An extra point up for grabs. Heel scores. 1-0 New England. Daniel Edelman will be the next for New York. Whatever team comes away with a point tonight as opposed to 2, it will put some pressure on that side to get a win against Atletico San Luis. Rebs will play the Mexican team on Wednesday. New York here Sunday at RBA. Edelman against Petrovic. Edelman. Stutter run up, and he will score. Played it to his right. Petrovic guessed the wrong way.
What I like about the idea there is that he starts with the. If you're going to start with, if you're going to do the stutter, start with a stutter. Don't get halfway in and slow it down with the stutter at the end. And you knew he kept his head down. He knew exactly where he was going and wasn't going to second guess himself. Had the confidence of knowing that he just put it in the right place and he's still going to score.
Next to step up from DP to DP, Gustavo Bo will take it. 33-year-old Argentinian. Coronel hopping on his line. Bo runs up, hits, and scores. Took a little off of it. As Coronel guessed one way, Bo played it low. Same spot almost as Edelman. Two-1 Revs through the first 2 rounds, and here is Dante Vanzer. Vanzer on the approach. He'll stutter. 3 straight players have played it low to their right. Vanzer scoring. Red Bull drawing even with either a miss or a Coronel save, a must somewhere along the way. DeJuan Jones will step up and hit. Jones, the former first-round pick in 2019 out of Lansing, Michigan. His stutter hits the post and comes out. Tried to play it to the exact same spot that's been a favorite so far. We are tied at 2 through the first 3 rounds. Red Bull captain Sean Nealis will be the next to take. This is a center back's dream, Steve, right?
Well, I love the confidence of the center back, especially your captain stepping into this. Hopefully he can finish this one off.
Nealis starting round 4. No hesitation. Hitting down the middle and scoring. A confident take by Sean Nealis.
Now you have, looks like Veroni stepping up to this one. You love Carlos Coronel. Now that the pressure is on Veroni, Carlos Coronel coming out with a big save. Would absolutely love to see that. I assume maybe Tolkien as that final fifth kicker.
You would think.
Let's see Veroni.
Coronel. He likes to move.
Come on.
Veroni comes forward. He stutters. And save!
Coronel!
Cool. Red Bull can get the extra point with John Tolkien coming down to take it.
An absolute shocker there by your center forward, Veroni. I mean, he absolutely had an atrocious attempt. You can see his mannerism stepping up to the ball. He didn't have a lot of confidence. Knew that the pressure was on him because of Jones missing his shot. And here it is. An incredible opportunity for our all-star to step up and give us that extra point.
The homegrown out of Chatham, New Jersey. MLS All-Star. Whistle comes. Tolkien hits confidently. Red Bull will get the extra point. They will win in the shootout. And go for the moment to the top of the group in East 4. A 4-2 shootout win after a scoreless 90 minutes. Missing their first and then 4 in a row for New York.
That for me, getting out of this game with 2 points,
huge.
I'm ecstatic considering their performance for the 90 minutes. I mean, let's be honest with ourselves. That was not pretty soccer. And the fact that we were able to get out of this game with quote-unquote a win or an extra point, I will take that all day.
We will step out, take one break, and come back with a quick recap for you and say goodnight. Leagues Cup up and going. Red Bull gets 2 points out of a possible 3. A win in the shootout, 4-2 over New England.
NJIT has been making student success stories since 1881 and has the rankings to show for it. Nationally, Forbes.com ranks NJIT #1 for student upward economic mobility. U.S. News & World Report recognizes NJIT as one of America's top 50 public universities. And on the international front, Newsweek and Make Magazine call NJIT one of the top maker schools in the world. What will you make at NJIT? Learn more at njit.edu.
Red Bull fans, we've partnered with Affinity Federal Credit Union to bring you the first ever New York Red Bulls credit card. The RBNY card let you earn points to redeem for team merchandise, exclusive experiences, and more. Earn triple points when using it at Red Bull Arena, on Red members, and all sporting good purchases. Make sure you sign up today. Your club, more rewards.
The Honda Civic and the Accord are uniquely stylish in their own way. But do you know what they have in common? Reliability and comfort? Sure. Available turbocharged engines? Of course. But also the driver, having fun for no reason, except for the thrill of driving a Honda. Named 2023 Best Overall Brand by Kelley Blue Book's KBB.com.
Based on 2023 Brand Image Awards from Kelley Blue Book, visit kbb.com for more information.
Look, he's walking.
Hi, congrats on the house. Happy birthday, Grandpa.
You take none of it for granted, and neither do we. At PSE&G, we're committed to your family's safety, so we want to be sure you know what to do if you smell gas. A natural gas leak smells like rotten eggs. If you suspect a gas leak, leave immediately. Move far away from the property, and then call 911 or PSE&G. Remember, smell, leave, call. To learn more, visit pseg.com/gas safety.
Provident Bank believes commitment isn't something you say, it's something you do. That's why they back it up day in and day out. In checking accounts with better rewards, with lenders that understand your business needs, and by supporting teams with the most committed fans. That's why Provident Bank is proud to be the official banking partner of the New York Red Bulls and unofficially the most committed bank in the world. Learn more at provident.bank.
Wendy's home-style French toast sticks are so delicious, some are saying that they're better than their mom's breakfast.
Excuse me, did you just say Wendy's French toast sticks are better than my breakfast?
Mom, is that you?
Answer the question.
I said some people are saying that because they're so crispy on the outside and fluffy on the inside and perfect in every way.
Uh-huh. And what do you think?
I think it's time to tell people to choose wisely. Choose Wendy's sweet and crispy home-style French toast sticks.
That's still not an answer.
At participating U.S. Wendy's during breakfast hours.
The homegrown out of Chatham, New Jersey, MLS All-Star. Whistle comes. Tolkien hits confidently. Red Bull will get the extra point. They will win in the shootout. And go for the moment to the top of the group in East 4. A 4-2 shootout win after a scoreless 90 minutes. John Tolkien winning it for New York with that PK. A theme of the night, Montreal 4-2 PK winner over Pumas in East 4. Red Bull gets the first 2 points out of 3 available. New England, Steve, will play Atletico San Luis, the other team in this 3-team bracket. And listen, is it fair to say you're almost rooting for Atletico San Luis? Because if they get a regulation win, Reds are out.
Yeah, that's true. And it's also going to be a glorious opportunity for us to actually see St. Louis, which we have not seen. So it gives us an opportunity to scout a little bit. So
Haven't seen him yet?
No, I have not seen him, in pure honesty. But hey, man, I'm going to take these 2 points and I'm going to run because this was tough to watch. I'm not going to lie, and this was definitely not one of our better performances. But fortunately for us, very fortunately for us, we still come away with the 2 points and get out of here.
Philadelphia has a 3-1 advantage on Tijuana. The only other game in progress right now, Real Salt Lake and Seattle scoreless. Another MLS matchup, San Jose and Portland. That game kicks at 10 o'clock. Tomorrow, the last of the opening group stage games. Atlas and NYCFC over at Citi Field. Kansas City is at Cincinnati. Columbus home for St. Louis. Nashville entertaining Colorado. Minnesota and Puebla will play in Allianz Field. Minnesota listed as the visitor in that game. We will keep rolling here with our Leagues Cup. We will be back here on Sunday against Atletico San Luis. Kickoff is set, I believe, for a normal 7:30 start. It is. Steve and I will be on the air at 7 o'clock. Keep an eye, obviously, on what takes place on Wednesday. New England and San Luis will play. That result goes a long way to determining what Red Bull could or will need come Sunday against the team out of Mexico. For our engineer, Paul Schrager, and my partner, Steve Jolly, we wish you all a great rest of your weekend. Thanks so much for listening to us tonight on the New York Red Bull Radio Network. Red Bull gets 2 points tonight, winning in a shootout over the Revs. We'll see you next Sunday against Atletico San Luis.
Hey, Red Bulls fans, the excitement doesn't have to end just because the match does, especially if you're headed home in a 2023 Honda with features like smartphone connectivity and Honda Link technology. Visit your local Honda dealer today. Honda, official partner of the New York Red Bulls.